Powered by Riverside FM.
Hey, freaks, geeks, and elites. We're Marley and AJ, and we're here to serve you a 3-course meal of this fortnight's hyper-focused flavors.
So place your napkins, because you know things in our kitchen gonna get messy. And let's get into it.
Yeah, that was a little bit triggering. We had an incident a long time ago. This was before we were parents, where we lived in a big apartment block, and in the gym they were offering Pilates classes, and Adam decided to do some Pilates to see if it would help with his lower back issues. Mm-hmm. And he went to a few Pilates classes and he absolutely loved it, and it was like really helping his back and stuff like that, until the Pilates teacher cornered him and tried to get him roped into her MLM vitamin selling scheme. Has never done Pilates since.
Follow-up question.
It just soured him on Pilates altogether.
Follow-up question. Were the Pilates actually working for some of his back pain?
Yeah, actually, that's why he was really enjoying it. It was helping a lot with his core strength and stuff, and helping. He is a mutant, so like 10% of the population apparently have an extra vertebra in their spine. He has an extra lumbar vertebra, which makes his back extra bendy. Ooh. And thus much more prone to
back problems.
He has like a compressed disc, and it gets quite sensitive. So he gets the lower back issues that Pilates would probably be fine for it, but now it's just forever tainted in his brain by multi-level marketing.
You know, the first question that always pops into my head whenever people talk about mutations and stuff nowadays is, but how does he feel about cilantro?
We're a pro-cilantro, pro-coriander family.
Apparently that's the evolution.
We do not... Yeah. We do not think it tastes like soap.
I honestly don't know. I can't remember if I've ever actually tried it, or if because with the alfred stuff, I have no idea anymore what I've eaten, what I haven't, and what I don't like, and why I don't like it. So at some point maybe I'll try it again just to test this theory out. I don't know.
Yes, it can be a later project.
Yeah, I'm really not that invested enough to find out whether or not I can eat Thai food, I guess. I'm trying to think what cilantro is big in. Thai food's the big one, isn't it?
A lot of Mexican food uses cilantro and coriander, especially both the powdered seed, and fresh leaves. So I think the ground coriander seed is a lot less controversial because it doesn't have the same chemical in it that makes people think of soap with the leaves. So, So
basically, 2 sets of cultural foods that I really can't eat in the first place because I can't process spices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. But at least once a year I go into the Mexican place in Hardware Lane here in town called Amigos just to get my chicken and mushroom enchilada with its creamy sauce, without mushrooms because I don't like mushrooms, and I deal with all of the physical fallout because it's just that worth it.
Yeah, I definitely, having seen you eat one of those, was having a little bit of food order envy, but I was pretty happy with the tacos they had there.
Yeah, I do like Amigos. It's my go-to celebration event restaurant. So, yeah.
Well, you're still more adventurous eater than some people I've met. I remember I had a friend in uni who had a fling with somebody who literally would not eat anything other than chips. So chicken enchiladas doing pretty well compared to that.
I actually, so when I first found Amigos, I was dragged there for a work lunch, and I was looking through the menu for anything I could eat. And at the time, it was a chef special, and it wasn't mushroom, it was chicken and sweet corn, and I love corn, I like creamy sauces, so I was like, okay, I'll try it out. So I did, and I loved it. And Amigo, that was the one in Carlton, which I believe shut down during the pandemic. So, yeah, it became a thing. And then I found that the chef who made it actually put the recipe out there online, and I tried making it at home, which was nice, but still not as good as it is when someone else makes it for you. All food tastes better when someone else makes it for you.
Especially when that someone is a professional chef.
There's two dishes that I can actually make really well from scratch. One is chicken and leek pies, and I've modified and monkeyed with that recipe so much that it is now my recipe, and lasagna. And I let my sister make my lasagna recipe once, and it tasted better than mine, so I had a little bit of a like childish tantrum, and I have never let her touch or see my chicken and leek pie recipe because I don't want her to make it better than I do. So the family has to come to me if they want those pies. Now, the flip side here is I don't actually enjoy cooking, and for every birthday that comes up, I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? Yep, chicken and leek pie. And it takes a couple of hours standing there to do. So I've really just shot myself in the foot.
Yes. The competitiveness.
Yep.
I'm trying to make a metaphor here with like, what is it, cutting off your nose to spite your face kind of thing.
Pretty much. This year for her birthday, because it's in February, I actually asked, what do you want me to make? And she's like, oh, I don't know, lasagna or your chicken and leek pie, I can't decide. I'm like, okay, we'll make a decision. Because she hadn't made a decision, I got the fixings for both, and I made both of them on the same day. And I don't know if you know, but lasagna from scratch takes about 3 hours to make.
It takes a long time, yes, that's involved.
Yeah. So I made all of that. I actually made all of that the day before because then I could just assemble it and put it in the oven because it's not so bad. Well, I actually assembled it and I was going to put it in the oven next day. And then the chicken and leek pie mixes I made on the day. But yeah, I sent photos of the bechamel sauce and the mince, and I took photos of it and I sent it to her. I said, lasagna, some assembly required. So that was my contribution to her birthday dinner. Well, do you remember, like, back in our generation, parents actually helped with homework, and anything that wasn't academics, like reading, writing, arithmetic, parents were responsible for teaching you. And nowadays, every time you log into Facebook or something, people are like, why aren't schools teaching useful skills like doing taxes, how to vote and change a tyre? Because that's the stuff your parents are supposed to teach you.
Well, it used to be for sure, yeah. But I think I don't know how my mom actually had the time, like, because she was working, she had a job, but she was still there. How did parents seem so flexible when I was a kid, but now it's like I have no time. I don't know.
Some of us, obviously, like, those of us who are on the neurospicy, it's a much harder struggle because it's harder to keep lists, keep routines, not get distracted, do things.
Yeah.
But, I was a sole parent and a full-time student because I didn't do part-time study. I did full-time university to try to get to a career as fast as I could. And I still never expected the schools to teach Daniel how to create a bank account, how to do taxes, how to vote, how to research for voting. I don't want someone else telling my kid, my impressionable child, what they should think about political parties and stuff like that. That should not be.
I agree.
So it's about prioritization, and I think a lot of people are too dependent on screens nowadays too, so they feel time poor because they've just lost 3 hours doom scrolling. I'm very guilty of that.
I definitely feel like that has an element of it. You kind of didn't have that as an option to fill up your time, so you did the stuff that you actually needed to do.
The simple fact of the matter is teachers are not paid enough or supported enough to fully raise your child for you, which is what you're asking for at that point. You're asking for them to do more than just teach the things that they have learnt to teach. You're expecting them to teach your child how to be a productive member of society and how to function in society, and that is your role as a parent. And that's where I start getting really, really angry when I see these posts. It's like, there used to be some, not a lot, but some classes that like home ec and shop, and I remember doing like a stint of mechanics for oil changes and tyre things and stuff like that you could opt into. They've always existed. There's always been like a shop option to pure academics. But yeah, like, it's the same as you see the boomers going, we're about to have a generation. I saw a video of this recently. It's like, we're about to have a generation of grandmas who can't bake a cake and don't know how to crochet, but they've got tattoos. And it was funny because there's a TikToker that I'm very amused by her. Instagram, TikTok, whoever. It's Single Mum Saga, and she's a Gen Xer.
Yeah.
And she's got, tattoos and everything. And she comes on to the stitch and sits down and goes, "Oh, my hand, who was supposed to teach us those things?" So, and I loved it because it put the blame back on the last generation was supposed to teach us. Not schools, not teachers. You. If you want us to be able to crochet and have life skills, that's on the parents. If you want us to be able to do reading, writing, arithmetic, that's on the schools. Put the failure where it belongs. Even if it is to pay for an extracurricular class on how to cook or something for your kid, still at least you're stepping up, not expecting the education system to handle everything.
I also think that's a little bit of a vacuum of like what the world is like, though, to assume that there's a whole generation of our age people who are about to become grandparents who can't bake a cake and crochet. Like, fuck you, I can crochet and bake a cake. Don't pretend you know me. Just because my job is working on computers doesn't mean that I can't do those things.
Or because I've got tattoos, or I don't have any.
If I want to learn to crochet or bake a cake because I value that, I can actually jump onto YouTube and learn it. I don't, there's less barrier now to doing some of those traditional things.
Yep.
Because people are sharing their interests and passions online, which I think is really cool. I mean, all of my YouTube are just like crafty people who are nerding out on the crafty stuff that they're obsessed with. And so I don't see that at all. I see like people who are in like half of my age getting really into sewing their own clothes, and they have a fully hand-sewn wardrobe.
To the mix C, why would my value as a grandmother only be dependent on me being able to bake a cake or crochet things?
Yeah. And that is actually true. It's like, is that even of value to our society right now? Like, maybe other forms of showing love.
I'm thinking maybe it's actually going to be more beneficial if I know how to grind flour.
Yeah, that's true. Find which plants aren't radioactive.
Yeah. Know how to read a Geiger meter.
See, actually, if you have played Fallout, that's the best preparation you could possibly have. How to kill rad scorpions is more important than crocheting and baking cakes.
Not even in my list of things that I have played. I build a lot. I play a lot of base building games. Will that help?
Maybe. It could be. If that translates into like real world being able to build your own bunker.
Plenty of crafter. You just go pick some uranium up off the ground, and then if you get enough uranium, you can make a uranium rod, right? That's translatable.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah, sure. I mean, that's all that people seem to do now is mine old books and fantasy and sci-fi books for a TV adaptation.
I don't mind them doing that. I mind the remakes. I've seen it. I've done it.
I agree.
I would like to move on now. I would like to see something new. Because, like, realistically...
I don't even mind remakes that have a new spin on the concept. But yeah, I'm a little bit over all the remakes. Like, they're going to remake Highlander.
Yeah, that annoys me so much.
Why?
Why touch perfection?
You don't need to change it. There's one with Sean Connery in it. It's fine. Leave it alone.
Yeah, didn't we already mess it up enough when we made Highlander 2? Really? And then 3. 3 was the one with the aliens, wasn't it? That's even worse. And then 4 went back and erased everything that had happened in 2 and 3.
I don't remember. It gets real hazy after 2 for me. Yeah. And then I did watch a lot of the TV show, but I don't really remember what happened in any of it now. Just all gone.
The funny thing is, I don't know if you'd notice this, but like my memory's dodgy as heck. But if you watch a remake of something you loved back then, right? Before you go into it, you go, I can't even remember the old one, right? But you walk in and you watch it, and everything that's wrong, you suddenly remember why it's wrong. So even though you don't remember the original at all, you go and see the remake and go, that's not right. Get off my lawn. This definitely feels like a...
It didn't happen that way before. I remember it didn't happen like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but it wasn't like that.
Because, I came out of... I got dragged along to see Beetlejuice on stage, the musical, last week while my dad was in town.
I don't understand why you would do that to Beetlejuice, but okay.
I mean, it was kind of... but as a fan of the original movie, the differences that they made were too jarring to me, and I just wasn't enjoying it. And the elements they try to keep the same, they didn't. The actress was great; she was great, phenomenal voice, but it was just too jarring to try and do it too close to the same and then deviate so much. I don't want to say too much in case anyone wants to see it, so I don't want to spoil it for anyone. But I came out of it. My dad liked it. My stepmother liked it. Crimson Llama liked it. So they were all happy. And I was just like, I'd been there since before the halftime intermission going, I would like to go home to bed now. I'm really not enjoying this.
That's the worst.
And I was talking to them about it, because like it's fine that I don't like something they like. Excellent, I'm happy they had a good time. But trying to express why I didn't enjoy it, because I actually do like musicals. It doesn't bother me to go to musicals. The ones that are remakes of old movies, I haven't found myself enjoying. I prefer the Hamiltons and things that were made to be musicals.
It feels very like forcing a square peg into a round hole to try and make a musical of a thing that wasn't a musical before.
Oh, you mean you're not going to go see Legally Blonde the musical?
No.
Yeah, neither.
I haven't even watched Legally Blonde, so the movie.
You haven't? Oh my god, why not?
No.
The sass. I love the sass.
It doesn't have enough zombies in it. I don't know.
Fair enough. I like a comedy movie. I do like a comedy movie. I prefer ones that aren't actually romantic comedies, which because I find romantic comedies, they're the same plot with different actors. And when Legally Blonde came out, I didn't see it when it came out, but when I was assured that it's actually, like, the end, it's not actually a happily ever after romantic, it's like a bit of a jab at education and what people think like women are capable of. And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give that a go. So I've watched it. I've watched it a couple of times, actually, mostly because I find it, I don't want to say brain candy because that implies that I really like it, but it's the right kind of background noise when I don't want to think.
I get what you mean. It's
and it's got some.
I would still kind of call that brain candy.
Yeah,
like it's like
I feel like it's more like brain Valium. It calms me.
You open the bag of chips.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and it's got a lot of fun quotes.
It's comfort. It's a comfort watch. It's a comfort watch, and that's totally legit.
Hey, one of my favorites is still the whole you got into Harvard Law. What? Like it's hard? I just love that whole scene. It's awesome.
I do appreciate anything that kind of undermines the notion that just because someone is blonde and perky, that means they're stupid. I definitely value skewering those kinds of stereotypes that don't help anyone. So it's just never really been on my radar of things to watch, but
the actress,
I don't have anything against it. Yeah.
So she was in that. I think her name was actually Vivian, right? But I actually only found out this week that she has MS. Yeah.
Interesting.
So she apparently had been having problems with balance and a few other things, and nobody could find what was going on for her. But she got diagnosed a bit later with MS. So yeah, that was interesting to find out. I don't know why. I don't usually like celebrity gossip or anything. Apparently, it hasn't actually stopped her from being a part of show business. So having the diagnosis helped her be able to do things.
Manage it for now. Well, I think in the early stages, if you catch it early enough, you can at least stave off the symptoms for a good while until it progresses to a certain point. So that's good that she was able to juggle that disability and her career.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Selma Blair in anything since the 90s, but then I guess, I don't know, I haven't really been...
I mean, really?
If it's not like a kid's movie, or if it's not one of my like horror or sci-fi back catalog that I was catching up on, then I probably am oblivious right now. So.
On the kids' movie front, the important question is, have you seen Stalks?
No. Okay. It was one where it was kind of like, I can't tell if this is one of those, because all the trailers look the same, right? Yeah. And I was like, I can't tell if this is going to be one of those ones where I just really regret having to sit through it. My kids like these movies no matter what. But will I enjoy also watching it? I couldn't tell. And there were enough other movies out at the same time that I think it just kind of, like, sometimes it's like really thin on the ground and there were no other movies on for kids. That's the one we're going to watch no matter what. But if there were like 2 or 3 choices, we always kind of picked either the Pixar one or whatever, the kids thought was more interesting. So with that one just sort of fell through the cracks for us.
Well, Dad made me watch it when he realised I hadn't seen it a few years ago. And, overall, the movie is not bad, but it's not awesome. But there are a whole bunch of scenes that revolve around specifically the wolf pack, and they are,
okay.
I would have just watched them as a movie on their own. They were hilarious.
Yes.
I really, really loved
kind of like anything with the penguins in Madagascar is better than the rest of the whole movie.
Yes, similar. Yeah. So, it's definitely worth it for at least a one-time watch. It's another one that's got some really great, quotes that come out of it and stuck into our family life. So, Wolfpack form, broken heart. Yeah, no, it's worth a look at.
I think I would appreciate that. Okay, cool. That one can go in the queue. It'll be a very long queue, unfortunately, but yeah.
Well, have you seen Secondhand Lions? I keep asking people this.
No, I think you've asked me that one before, because that rings a bell, but I know I haven't seen it.
You gotta see it. Gotta see it.
Okay.
And I'm gonna sit here and quietly judge you for having a Mac.
I've always had a Mac. Does that change our relationship?
Yeah, it does. It does.
I've had a Mac since it wasn't called a Mac then, but I've had an Apple computer since 1986. I'm not changing now.
I think that's probably the same reason why, I am so violently anti-Mac. I've worked on PCs the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm not changing now.
We did have sometime in the early 90s we got a 386, and we had that for a while, so I can handle any operating system, but if I'm buying my own machine, I tend to get Macs. And then just use them for 500 years until they're beyond obsolete because they're so expensive.
Crash them into the ground.
Yes. Yeah. Hence needing a new laptop.
It's funny because I'm always so anti-Mac, and I'm always like, ooh, Macs, but all of my actual non-PC devices are Apple, and
you still got the cooties. You touched it.
Well, it happened because I got an iPod, the little iPods back in the day. So I got one of those for Christmas, and a whole bunch of iTunes vouchers. I bought a whole heap of music and everything, and my iPod and my phone, which was a Nokia, died at the same time, and I couldn't afford to replace both of those things, so I ended up with an iPhone 3 or 4. I think it was 4. That's how long I resisted the smartphone trend. So I ended up with an iPhone 4, because it made more sense, and now, I've got so much music, TVs and stuff that I bought historically over time on iTunes that I'll just never shift away. Plus, I really don't like learning new devices. I really, really don't. So if I moved to Android, I'd have to relearn how to use it and where everything is, and
Yeah. My dad has had an Android in the past, and I've had to try and help him with his phone, and I hated every minute of it, so... I'm like, how do you even use this thing?
I'm so change resistant. I get a new computer. I got this computer. I was on a Surface Pro 4 when I got this computer, and I got it because it was too slow and laggy playing Raft, because I started gaming again and I was playing Raft, and it just wasn't coping with that, and I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a real PC. So I got a real PC, and it sat there for a week. I was so excited to get a PC and be able to play my games. It sat there for a week because I just didn't want to have to set up all the OS stuff and reinstall everything, and that's pretty much what happens every time I get a new computer. I'm so slow to get everything over. I'm so excited to have a new computer, and I'm so slow to start using it because I have
setting it up.
I have anxiety when I first turn it on and everything looks different.
Yeah, okay.
I resisted new Windows, so I went from Windows 2K to Windows... Windows
10?
Yeah, to Windows 10. I jumped straight over, because I
and they really changed everything.
Yeah. And then when I started this one up, it was this looks like a Mac. What have they done with the OS?
That annoyed the crap out of me when they did that in Windows. I'm like, I use a Mac at home. I use Windows for work. Now the Windows looks like a Mac, except that just confuses me because it's not actually like a Mac. It's just a wrapper that superficially looks like a Mac, and then you're suddenly back in Windows land when you click on something.
Yep. Because I think they tried to make it look more modern and glossy, and I'm like, I was happy with Windows how it was. Stop messing with it.
My happy place in Windows is XP. If they could just keep it at XP, I'd be happy.
See, my happy place was, Windows 2K. I knew where everything was. Because that's the other thing. Like, every time they have a new iteration, move, config from here to here and this thing over here and now all of a sudden I don't know how to manage my own computer because I've got to go find everything again. Isn't that basic human computer interaction principle is if it's not broken, don't fuck with it.
I got the same level of shits when they reorganized Office because I knew where everything it was all muscle memory. I wasn't even looking at what I was doing. I just knew where shit was. And then they redid Office to make the user interface better. It's but I have been trained for decades now on this way, and then you just suddenly pulled the rug out from under me. What the hell?
And they added ribbons and hot buttons and this and that and the other. I'm like, I know where everything is. Stop messing with myself. Yes. If anyone from Microsoft listens to this, take note.
No one from Microsoft who's going to make a decision on anything is listening. I think that was one where we watched the show first and then read some of the books. But I kind of petered out on that one.
Same with Vampire Diaries. I never watched that one.
No, I haven't watched that one.
I never watched the darker Sabrina, the teenage witch either.
It was okay at first, and then it just went nowhere and kept going on and on. We still haven't watched the final season. I didn't mind it, but I was like, get to the point already.
There was a whole, what's the word I'm after? Whole era of TV shows in there where they kind of went viral, everyone loved them, and I haven't seen any of them. I haven't seen Stranger Things, I haven't seen Riverdale, I haven't seen Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Riverdale isn't worth it. Don't watch Riverdale.
Even the trailers and teasers I saw for that was it doesn't look like it's worth watching.
It's one of those annoying shows where every season they just reset, and then we got tired of it. We couldn't finish it.
Enough. I went into Lucifer and I loved it until the last season. The last season, to me, just sort of went totally off the rails and all over the place, and I have no idea how they got where they got.
The one with the daughter showing up,
Yeah.
I didn't mind the actual ending. I loved the concept that hell is just therapy for people who've died and can't resolve their issues.
I kind of liked that, but there was too many things about the ending I didn't like. When she died, when Chloe died, her daughter with Lucifer in it, what happened to the other daughter? She was nowhere in sight.
Yeah, I know. I think that's because the actress couldn't be in it, or she got too old or something like that.
But they would have needed a grown-up to replace her anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I found that really weird, too, that, the character was just completely wiped out of the story with no explanation.
Yeah, the whole thing is just and the heavenly host coming down versus Lucifer, and it just sort of went too epic, I guess.
Yeah.
I liked the original premise with him sticking his nose into everything and, holding wrappers out of windows. It just,
The problem for me was that it didn't hold a candle to the comic book series, which I really loved.
Well, it was not even remotely related after it got past the whole he came back to
Earth. Yeah. There was a bunch of, names that were the same, like Mazikeen, and that was it.
I have caught up on Sandman now, though, so I've watched the 6 episodes that have dropped, so...
It's the 24th or something that the rest of them come? Yeah.
So at least I was so far enough behind that I don't have to wait that long for the rest to drop. But that comic book series meant a lot more to me than the Lucifer comic book series. So,
okay.
And I do feel like the TV show is doing the comic series justice, so...
Okay. I really liked now I can't remember any of the characters' names, but I liked the whole plot thread in the comic book series. And I really like Mike Carey, I quite like his books and stuff as well, so I don't know, maybe I'm just biased, but he had this storyline where there was a character that became sort of like a daughter figure to Lucifer, and she basically started her own world and tried to be the deity and do it right, and it was really good to see how, he kind of study philosophy, all these arguments for why there's not an omnipotent deity doing this and that and the other because it causes more problems and, you know, unintended consequences and stuff. So I thought that was really cool little, like, thought experiment in that, and plot thread in the comic. And yeah.
I do like the gender bent John Constantine, though, so...
Joanna Constantine. Well, there was a Joanna Constantine in the comics, right? And she was the ancestor of John Constantine, or Constantine, I don't know. It just sounds weird to me to say Constantine.
Yeah, it does to me, too.
Is that an English thing? I don't know.
No idea. No idea. Yeah, so... Do you know what I found out just this week, actually? One of those little fun facts about Star Trek, actually. The original series, not the more ones. You know the Klingon belts and the buckles they had that looked science fiction-y?
Yeah.
They were done with bubble wrap.
That's so cool. I love the craft that goes into, like, making stuff for TV and movies. I find it fascinating. I have some in-laws that are part of the film industry, and you hear them explaining the sorts of stuff they do for art departments, and it's just hilarious. Have you ever read any of the, like, iRobot and stuff like that?
Oh, I did read iRobot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, I read I Am Legend.
Well, that's totally different.
Yes, it is.
I liked I Am Legend too, but that doesn't have anything creative.
The book was better than the movie.
Yeah, I didn't actually ever watch the one with Will Smith, but there is a classic movie adaptation with Vincent Price playing the main character, like the one guy that's left that doesn't have the weird disease.
Yep.
And it is, I don't know, it's nothing really like the book, but it's got Vincent Price, like, losing his shit and doing the Vincent Price laugh, and for that, I love it.
Well, you know, they changed the ending of I Am Legend for the Will Smith movie because Will Smith didn't want to be the villain.
Oh, that's lame. Like, that's the whole character. It's like he thinks he's doing a good thing, and then he realizes that he's killing all these people who are not monsters. and
that actually is what prompted me to read the book, because I heard that little piece of trivia, and I was like, he's supposed to be the villain? How does that work? So I read the book, I was like, oh, that's how that works.
It was dark.
That opens up, like, to me, a similar parallel line of we now have the capability of capturing video, security door footage of people in our neighbourhood.
Yeah.
And apparently we see no problems with people sharing that footage of other people in their private neighbourhood on the internet for laughs, likes and shares. I mean, it's not exactly invading their mind, but it's still, like, opening up a whole can of worms that's a slippery slope of where does privacy exist anymore?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's really true, and the rule of thumb that I've seen is that if you're in public, that's the public space, and you can expect to be photographed and your image taken somehow. I do think that I think it's not quite that cut and dried, like, because there's a difference between, you think about all the people who have become memes. Was that a good thing for them or a bad thing? Not simple. Some people, it was fine. Some, I don't know if Star Wars Kid ever copped it for being Star Wars Kid, but I'm sure it made him self-conscious, to go viral like that. So
if we could trust people's empathy and moral compass better, it'd be less problematic, but so many people are just wanting to go viral at everyone else's expense nowadays that, you've got people laughing at people in gyms on the internet, and, some people are just quietly trying to go to the gym and improve themselves, and you've got mean girl mentality taking video footage of overweight girls in gyms and laughing at them.
Yeah.
And, it's just... And I think, like, as a society, I think we've got a responsibility to draw a line there and not let these people, like, if you're going to do that, you should become the laughing stock. You should become the joke because you at least welcomed it. And I think we should not encourage or support or viralize mean mentality and arsehole culture. It doesn't hurt anything to be nice to people and just mind your own business. And that's not to say that it's not okay to, like, if you notice something cute funny or wholesome funny on the street and video it and put it up, that's fine. But mocking people and humiliating them, that's a whole different pathway.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. Probably because I'm always the one getting laughed at, so I feel sensitive about it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I've never really found humiliating people funny.
Yeah, I don't love it either. It's pretty cringe. And I think part of it that feeds into it in my mind is the prevalence of, engagement. Mm-hmm. So it's, even if people aren't, like, agreeing with the attitude and they're getting angry and responding to a video that's mean, rage baiting people gets all the clicks, and that's our gauge of, like, oh, well, this is really good and popular because lots of people commented on it. But there's something just not adequate about that rule of thumb. Like, if we want something to be considered popular and elevated, it should, meet some certain standard of behavior, I think,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go back to the old way of ostracizing people for being dicks.
For being assholes.
It's just make it not acceptable anymore. And it's always, have you noticed, it's always the people who were mean girls and bullies in high school who are now suddenly all about anti-bullying campaigns and virtue signaling all over. I remember what you put me through in high school. You are not a nice person. Like, you're not.
One of the advantages to moving to a completely different continent is that you just fall out of touch with the people that you went to high school with mostly.
Yeah, I don't want to totally disregard the idea of personal growth and stuff. But, like, after the fifth person who bullied you in school, you see them sharing, they were bullied in school and bullying is not cool. I would appreciate it more if they actually acknowledge I was a bully in school. It wasn't acceptable. I have learnt and grown.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean I need to forgive you or embrace you, but don't try and act like you were the victim too. Everyone wants to jump on the victim mentality. I think it shows more courage to admit that you were not the victim, you were actually the perpetuator of something that we all know now is not good, and how you learnt and grown, because maybe more people will see that and go, oh, they're getting a lot of love and appreciation for growth.
Yeah.
Let's give more love to growth. I remember I was a horrible racist bigot back in high school, but I've since learned that, Muslims are people too, and they're lovely people, and I have some, whatever. It's just, whatever the hell your particular slant of assholery was, if you've learnt and grown from it. Hell, if you were raging racist back in school, and you now go, you know what, I still don't feel comfortable around brown people, but I'm not going to say arsehole things and cut them out of jobs and stuff. Yeah. That's at least still some nominal growth.
That's progress.
We're heading in the right direction. Not fast stuff, but we're heading in the right direction there. So, because I think that there are some people, especially the ones that do grow up with horrible, horrible bigot parents, who may never get to an automatic, natural, comfortable level with some things, but if they can train themselves around, I see that's actually horrible, I hate myself for that reaction, I'm trying to get there.
Yeah.
I would appreciate that so much.
The first step in any kind of growth is recognizing the behavior that you want to change when you're doing it in the moments, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us on Moments of Madness. If today's antics sparked joy or a bewildered chuckle, give us a follow.
Check out our socials for more information or discussion on any of our topics today, or to recommend a book, movie, game, or topic for future episodes.
Until next time, keep waving those freak flags high and embrace the beautifully bizarre.